Some visits are symbolic and some visits are ceremonial. And then some visits are economic earthquakes disguised as handshakes. And Africa's richest industrialist, a man who built a $30 billion empire from cement, sugar, oil, and vision, just landed in one of the most underestimated countries on the continent, Burundi. Not Paris, not London, not Washington, Burundi. And when Aliko Dangote walks into your capital for the first time, you're not hosting a guest. You're hosting a signal, right? So when Africa's richest man visits one of Africa's smallest economies, that's not charity, that's strategy. And remember, if you want more Africa First stories the Western media ignores, hit subscribe. We don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth. And by the end of this video, you understand why this visit signals a new industrial direction for Central Africa and why Burundi just entered a different conversation.
The biggest industrialist, Aliko Dangote, was recently in Burundi, hosted by the government alongside Nigeria, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, as the Dangote Group explores multi-sectoral investment opportunities in the Central African economy. Let's watch.
Visit is in two parts. One was a courtesy visit on His Excellency. Being my first time to Burundi, we had a very, very good discussion. The second part is where to invest in Burundi, and I think there are quite a lot of opportunities in solid minerals, in power, in agriculture, in cement, and other areas, which now we have actually formed two teams, one part from Burundi, the other part from the Dangote Group, to see the opportunities of where we'll now invest in Burundi. Our focus really is investing heavily in the African continent, not anywhere else. And so really Burundi is part and parcel of that African region. And there are quite a lot of opportunities here, of which we want to come and look at how to harness these opportunities, where there will be a win-win, a shared prosperity between us and the good people of Burundi.
All right. So this week, Aliko Dangote made his first official visit to Burundi, meeting President Evariste Ndayishimiye and signaling a long-term cooperation agreement. It's been signed focusing on mining, energy, infrastructure, industrial development, right? So let's pause right there, because Burundi is not usually the country analysts place on, we'll say, the top investment destinations list, right? It's landlocked. It has faced political instability in the past, right? It's been overlooked in global capital flows as well. So this is exactly why this visit matters. Dangote doesn't move randomly, right? He's industrial, model built, Nigeria's largest refinery, right? The largest in Africa. He controls cement plants across multiple African countries. He studies supply chains like chessboards. So when he steps into Bujumbura and signs long-term cooperation agreements, this isn't tourism, it's positioning. And here's the quiet part we're going to say out loud, right? Usually Western analysts love to say African investors are risk averse, and apparently Africa's richest man didn't get that memo. So people think this means, many will see Dangote as expanding his empire, right? Burundi needs foreign investment. This is just another business deal. And that's the surface take, right? The deeper context is that African capital is increasingly circulating within Africa. And for decades, major infrastructure projects across the continent required European banks, American firms, or Asian state-backed entities. And now, a Nigerian billionaire is entering Central Africa with industrial ambitions. And that changes the psychological equation. It signals confidence in Burundi's political stabilization. It signals trust in long-term continental integration. It also signals African-led production, not extraction for export, right? So Africa isn't investable, signed some anonymous global commentator every year, right? Since we'll say 1962. And yet, Africa keeps building billionaires. So let's talk about why this matters for identity and power. Because this isn't just about Burundi, it's about narrative control. When African industrial capital starts flowing across borders, right, that's continental self-belief. And it says, we don't need permission to industrialize. We don't need a Western confidence rating to build factories. We have capital, we have vision, we have each other. And that shift psychologically is enormous. So let's talk about real life impact, right? If Dangote invests in mining infrastructure in Burundi, that means value add processing instead of raw export. It means jobs beyond subsistence agriculture. It means energy projects tied to production and not just consumption. So Burundi sits near mineral-rich zones in the Great Lakes region, and if industrial infrastructure improves, this doesn't just lift Burundi, it integrates the entire region. So what about the energy projects, right? Industrialization requires power and infrastructure. Industrialization requires logistics. So this is system thinking, right? And in previous Africa Power reports, we've covered how strategic infrastructure reshapes power more than political speeches ever do. And this builds on that same thing because Dangote's refinery in Nigeria shifted fuel dynamics in West Africa. Now imagine industrial inputs in Central Africa strengthening local supply chains, right? So for years, some Western analysts predicted Africa would remain resource dependent, right? And Africa looked at that prediction and built factories anyway. So this is, also a major diaspora signal because African investors seeing Dangote move into Burundi may follow with regional banks increasing confidence. Youth across the region may see industrial employment as a real path. And that's how ripple effects work, right? So what's happening next? If this cooperation agreement materializes into cement plants, mining facilities, energy grids, or agro-processing hubs, and Burundi's economic identity shifts, and maybe not overnight, not magically, but directionally. And direction is everything, right? So we could see Central Africa becoming more industrially integrated, East African trade corridors expanding inland, African billionaires forming cross-border alliances, or a new wave of intra-African industrial partnerships. So this isn't about copying Europe. It's about building African industrial ecosystems. And, here's the visionary tone, right? We can imagine future headlines like Nigerian capital, Burundian resources, regional manufacturing hub. That's how continents mature, right? And inshallah, in further episodes, we'll dive into another underreported industrial shift happening in Southern Africa, right? Because the map is moving quietly, and if you blink, you might just miss it. So while we're focusing on one visit, one handshake, one long-term agreement, but beneath it is a continental signal. Africa's wealth is beginning to circulate within Africa, and that is how sovereignty grows. So, mashallah, that's your African Insight for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I'm Mr.EmpowerTV. We don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth behind them. This is Mr. Empower, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.